Are we good? We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Good to go. Let me just adjust this one slightly there. There. That might be better. Let's get some light on me here. This segment here. A little lighter there. Right. Much better. Much better. Much better. I look a lot better on this camera over here, though. Look nice and fair on this one. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Everybody, log on. Mark, Narasadu, Sean Singh, and Jane, Ricky, Vinayak. Hey, you knew. Kadir Yunus. I read Kadir Kanjus there for some reason. Vishal Kritika is joining us with the hashtag I am Cooley, hashtag the power of one. And let me try and get a bit more light on this channel here. Try it there. Fucking light never works when I want it to work. Let's try that. Give me a bit more. Right there. Better. Yep. Better. Good afternoon, my Timothy, Mark Richards, regular Secretary Governor joining us. Shiraz Salim and YouTube members are on as well. We live on 2 channels tonight. Hi, Caro, first time here, bro. Cecil, welcome. We welcome newbies. Kritika also joining us on the YouTube channel. Good evening, everyone. Buddha says evenings. Nikki Ramlal says how's it, Mother? How's it? Naveen Devdat is on. YouTubers, you can say hi as well. Just to see your comments coming through. Bina Manas, good evening. Bina, good evening, everyone. Kritika's comment coming through again there. And Stephen Nitya Naidu. YouTube comments come up and they disappear. Must try and find a way to keep them on. Looking good, says Pops Munsami. Jamila Shetler. Guten Abend, Jamila. Hot Shots Photography. Hi, sir. And Timothy, my man. Nizam Ghani in the bed. Tied today. Are you tied as in tied up? Or are you tired as in tired? Nizam Ghani of Nizam's Cars. Guy buys Porsches and whatever. Shahina Yusuf. Shamini Naidu. I'm a newbie from Randburg, says Shamini Naidu. Yeah. Shamini wants to be a newbie. She wants to be treated like a virgin. Mr. T can do that tonight. Mr. T, Shamini wants to be treated like a virgin. I think that's in the center. Yeah, there we go. That's right. I'm telling you, my headgear is not correct. Right. You know, I do my wardrobe when I come on with you guys. I don't prep myself before I come here. Ravin Singh, good evening. Roger Naidu from the UK. Rajesh Takurnath, Ashton, John Melissa Olwacha, Aruna Chandraks, evening KC, looking sharp. He's tied the bed because he's tired. Yep, says Tasha Kamani. Good evening, Kamani, how are you? Pranesh Shuran says, marking the register. Well, you gotta mark the register. If you didn't mark the register, especially if you're newbies, I want a cap like yours back in a buy. That's the thing. Mother one, yeah? Yep, it is a mother one. It gets better, by the way, by branding and all that. Veron and John. The Duke suits you better, says Jackie. The Duke suits you better. Well, you gotta try all things, Jackie. New looks, new styles, everything is new. Gotta change it around, keep it fresh. Put the gold chain outside just for tonight. Okay, the gold chain is outside for tonight. Think that customer was it. I'll be a Charo style, put my gold chain outside. This is not inch gold, by the way, this is fucking pure gold. Looking good, KC, says Naresh. Comments are still small on my phone, I can't see them, but they're looking good. I can't see your name though. Kribi Pata joining us. Somebody wanted the gold chain outside, so I'll put it out for a while. I'm afraid I might get robbed here. Good evening. I must get the names. I can't see your names on the YouTube channel. Good evening, everybody there joining us. Only the gold teeth missing now. Yeah, make a plan and make a gap here. I got no gap. I need to make a gap to put the gold slit. Right, there we go. Good evening, everybody. Before I do anything else, it was a hot day today. All right, hold on. Calm down. Gold chain tops, put gold teeth. Gold chain was a thing back in the day. You had to have a gold chain. I've had this thing for years. It doesn't come off my neck, by the way. I have a shower with it, go in the pool, the beach, whatever. It's such a sport shot. No, you have nice teeth. Yeah, nice teeth. And I'm not going to put gold slit. Why I stopped Mudus, Hilmal, and Niven on YouTube. Okay, Mudus. Mudus, Himal, right? Kritika has given me a comment. Mudus, Hira, Himal, and Niven on YouTube. Welcome on YouTube, guys. With Kritika XA, what's the chows tonight? No chows tonight. Before I start, Vanakkam everybody, good evening, Vanakkam. It's Thursday, 17th of September, and it's Vanakkam, hashtag I am Cooley, hashtag the power of one. We discussed that last night. If you can sign in and sign the register, if you can sign into that, it will be greatly appreciated. Hashtag I am Cooley, or you can use hashtag the power of one, or both of them. But let me just tell you this much before I even introduce a sponsor for tonight, which is my company. That's why I can do this, and I can delay the sponsor note here. It was a hot day today. I had a hell of a day today. I did a lot of things today, and it was hot, and I was very, very thirsty. And I was craving. That's why on the feed I was telling the guys it's Friday and whatever. But it's Puza Thursday, and although it's Partasi, I have been listening to I can't drink this whole thing, as most of you know. But I've been listening for this thing. You know when you've got this thirst, like insatiable thirst, you gotta have. And I'm gonna say sorry to the guys who are fasting and started fasting today. I also was gonna fast, but I'm gonna give you my story about fasting and not fasting, whatever. I'm gonna let you know about that. H2O. Right, there we go. So I've been listening for this thing today, and it's the last one I got left, by the way. And bottle stores are closed tomorrow. Are they open? I don't know. I was just waiting to have that to go down my throat. No, when you actually listening for something. I'm not a drinker, by the way, but I was listening for this, and yeah. Looking tops, KC, whatever. I'm looking on the comments, which the comments disappear from YouTube, by the way, so I can't see it very often. I think that's all I'm going to have, by the way. Thinking the same thing. Right, let's get started. Thank you for allowing me to have that and just to wet my throat. Evening, everybody, says Ravin Govind. Where the fuck have you been, Ravin Govind? Right, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Thursday, 17th September. Tonight's show brought to you by this guy here, KC Consulting. And I did enjoy that, by the way. Kamani. Phoenix, you can get drink 24/7. I know that. I know. If in the townships, you can get drop anytime. Good evening, Casey and the gang, says Mervin. Good afternoon, everyone on the live feed on the YouTube channel. The power of one, says Rakesh Singh. By the way, this is my company. Let me start off with this because it was a really sad story. By the way, I think I shared it with a couple of you guys about a couple of weeks back. Okay, my company. I'm involved with a company called Capital Legacy, and we work on signing off wills, estates, planning, and all of that. And 80% of people don't have a will in place, by the way. But I won't get into that. I'm not doing a selling thing here. People who need it know what they need. The sad story is that about 3 weeks back, a lady contacted me urgently. She needed to have a will done immediately and just get it done. And I said, yeah, I'll carry on. And then she wanted to share the story with me as to why she wanted to get this done immediately. I think it's family friends of hers, husband and wife, and an 11-year-old son or child. I'm not sure, boy or girl. I'm saying son. I think it was a boy. Traveling on the N3. I'm not sure where they were going. Met with an accident. Father and mother passed away in the accident. 11-year-old child in hospital but survived. Obviously, the family had lots of insurance and all that in place, but here's the thing, and most of you might know this because we've discussed this before. As much as you have insurance policies in place, when you and your spouse pass on, the kids obviously can't handle money and that amount of money, probably a couple of million, and the money then goes to the legal guardian, or if you didn't appoint a legal guardian, the court will appoint a legal guardian, and then they get control of the millions that you leave for your children. So while you think these millions are there for your children, they're actually being managed by a guardian, a legal guardian. So, for example, if the legal guardian believes that they need a car to take your son to school, if you need if he needs a new bed, if the house needs new built-in cupboards, then they have a right to spend that money as they feel fit. There we go. So there we go. So that brings us to something you might want to consider if you have underage kids, is to put your money, if you have family you can trust, and that's something, ask yourselves now, how many of you will trust your family with a couple of million? Yeah? And then if you can, good for you. If you're doubtful, put a trust in place. Yep, so that's what I do. So she ended up signing up a will and a plan to cover a cost, and most importantly, she set up a trust for her kids. So there you go. If you're interested in all of that, and if that story got to you, and many of you might find yourself in that situation, get all of me, KC Consulting, 073-767-5836. Shamini Naidu has signed up. She and her wonderful husband have signed up. They've taken a legacy plan as well with me. Jackie Munsami has signed up. Don't trust no one. I will call you tomorrow, says Nizam Ghani. Nizam Ghani, if you haven't got something that is in place, don't be a chodan and get it sorted out. Call me tomorrow. By the way, I know lots of people got fancy cars, lots of things, don't even have life insurance. Let's talk about that, by the way, because let's talk about that. Lots of people, Vijay, if you follow Casey, somebody's talking about my hair here. Why are you hiding your hair? Did you use the wrong shampoo? Somebody asked me why I'm hiding my hair. I might be a newbie on the YouTube, doesn't see me before. Timothy says, difficult experience, sad though. Let's spend 5 minutes talking about this. Do you know people, rather I know people, who drive around in fancy cars, but don't have life insurance, paying 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 for their cars, but don't have life insurance? And those of you who have life insurance know life insurance is not cheap. Yeah? I think my policy is whatever, would cover my wife, my son, all of that. I think I'm paying about 8,000 rand a month towards my RA and my life policy. 8,000 rand a month. Couldn't I be driving a Jag or something like that, or Mustang or whatever? Yeah? Tell me about that. You guys know anyone like that? Let's spend 5 minutes talking about that. Do you guys know anyone like that? Are you that person? I personally know people like that. Driving fancy cars, paying the installments, flashing, all of that, but no life insurance. Is life insurance, I'm not even talking about wills here, by the way. What is a chodi, says Jamila. Jamila, that's another thing. We can't be a chodi and chodni and chodo is a topic for another day. Do you guys think life insurance is necessary? How many of you know people in this COVID period have, and this could be different cases, right? This is not a case of vanity or buying cars. How many people you know have lapsed their life insurance policies? And there are people who lapsed their life for good reason. They lost their job, they can't afford life insurance. Then there are people who've lapsed their life insurance, but got time to pay for the fancy cars and whatever. Why didn't you downgrade your car? Rakesh Singh, Aibo can trust no one. Well, Rakesh Singh, you saying you can trust no one. One guy on Facebook took me on and he says, well, I'm not going to trust my money with this company and whatever. I got my sister and my brother. Good for you. If you got somebody like that, I don't know. If you can manage that, good for you. So that was the story of the 11-year-old left orphaned by his family, how the finances go there. Who knows? By the way, today is the 17th of September. It's the start of Patasi, the holy month of Patasi for Hindus. So happy Patasi. Let's talk about me fixing your cars and sorting out my will, mother. Yup. Danny Burma, if you haven't got a will, it's fucking sad state of affairs. There's a number. You call me and we'll sort it out for you. The will is done free of charge, but I'll done the whole selling point for you, yeah? Let's get on to the show. Shamini says, I know people who have a fancy lifestyle and don't have necessities like medical aid, life, or even personal life cover. She's talking about life cover. Isn't that a true story? People got fancy lifestyles, they drive fancy cars, they like shopping, but I mean, if I could save 10,000 rand a month on my life insurance policies and such, I mean, couldn't I afford the car and all those luxuries that go with it? Because I've got extra cash. 10 grand is 10 grand, dude. Not really life insurance, rather RA and offshore investments. Cynthia Kopp. Well, Cynthia Kopp says, not well. What I'm saying is you're investing in something, Cynthia, rather than a car. Paying for your car, that's what I mean. If you feel RA is good for you, then do the RA. If your offshore investments are good for you, which means you're looking after your future, that's a great thing. Medical aid for sure, that's right. I'm finding it hard to get life cover. Type 1 diabetic. Well, send a WhatsApp to me. I've got some guys in the life insurance industry, and we'll see if we can get you covered there. 073 767 58368. A lot of talking. Feeling thirsty today. Hold on. Coming up in the program, we're going to talk about the protest action in Port Elizabeth. It was Port Elizabeth with the stables. We'll talk about that. Before that is the start of the holy month of Patasi, and it goes on for 1 month, where Hindus abstain from eating meat, vegetarian diet, and supposed to abstain from drinking and all of that. I'm not doing any of those things for health reasons, coincidentally, but I've mentioned it before. I won't talk about it again. Right, also, if you're on my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where next week, Tuesday, at 12 o'clock, I premiere my call. Premiere means the first viewing of the call. You get to see it first on YouTube. The first viewing of my call to Becky Kele. Many have been asking me to call him for a while now. I think the time is right to call Becky Kele. That conversation or that call will premiere on my YouTube channel on Tuesday at exactly 12 o'clock. So if you're on the YouTube channel, you get a notification. It'll premiere at 12 o'clock on Tuesday. How much life insurance you need. How's it, Casey? How much life insurance you need? I don't need life insurance. Did you hear me asking about life insurance, Rakesh Narayan? I didn't ask. I think you wasn't paying attention. I never asked for life insurance. I did tell you I have life insurance. Any idea what happens in case where you leave monies from a policy, but those beneficiaries perish with you in an accident? That's a good question, that, by the way, Vishal. So if you leave to a beneficiary, nice question. Maybe it goes to the state. I'm missing all the action. Must watch your YouTube, Facebook posts. Stephen says those rich O's are very selfish. When they die, the problem unfolds. That's right. When they die, the problem unfolds. Right. So also, before I go on to the PE situation, the stables issue there, Cape Town people, Tasha and company, expecting some bad weather in the next 2 days. Is it that way in Cape Town at the moment? Snow, by the way. Severe weather warning with snow possible in Cape Town over the next 2 days. And I'm sure we all over the country, especially in Gauteng, going to feel some of that here in Joburg. Life insurance is essential, says Timothy. Well, Kathy doesn't agree with you, but I think life insurance is essential. To each their own, what they feel. As long as you have some sort of cover to keep your family afloat when you pass on. That's what life insurance is there for. To cover your family when you are no longer there to provide for them. Right, where are we with time? Okay. YouTubers, welcome everybody, welcome. I'm live on 2 channels here, Facebook and YouTube. 2 channels tonight. Guys, if you haven't heard the news that was coming in from early this morning, Port Elizabeth, I think it is a Fairview stables there. Fairview racetrack, stables, whatever. Angry protest. I'm going to read for you read the statement to you from the Septs. I think they're in Port Elizabeth, Fairview. Fairview, and yeah, is the settlement there, Fairview Stable. So I'm going to read the statement to you. Just pay careful attention, and then we will discuss this. That's what we'll discuss. So no other discussions in the next 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to discuss just this item over here. I'm going to read you the press release or the statement, media statement from the SEPs. This is dated today, 17th of September. How could you, Jenny Berman says, how could you take your anger out on beautiful innocent? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, today's date, 17th September, angry protesters harm racehorses at stables in Port Elizabeth. A mob of about 150 to 200 protesters from the Fairview informal settlement stormed onto the property of Fairview Stables and freed about 28 horses early this morning, 17th September. According to information on hand, at about 6 o'clock, police responded to a complaint of the angry protesters who entered the property and allegedly broke the locks of the stables. The horses were freed and were forced out of the property by assaulting them. They were reported to be running in all directions, with their abusers taunting them with sticks and stones. One horse was found dead about a kilometer away in an opening near the houses. It is alleged that it was stabbed and assaulted, the horse that is. All the horses have since been accounted for, and the injured horses are receiving treatment by the Port Elizabeth Anti-Cruelty. At this stage, the exact reason for the protest and subsequent death, injury, and release of the horses is not known. Public order policing, the community security companies, specialized police units, as well as SAPS members assisted the stabling staff in rounding up the traumatized animals. The horses are race horses. Public order policing will remain in the area to avert further attacks. So basically, the community of Fairview Informal Settlement went onto the property of Fairview Stables. They freed the horses, assaulted the horses, killed a horse. And these have to do with, from what I gather from the other news sources, stable hands, people working at the stables demanding an increase of up to 150% and probably other things that they've been. But I don't want to touch on that. It's irrelevant whatever their demands were. My first point is, in this environment, I don't think this stables has been making money for the last 6 months with hardly any racing happening. So like any other business, it must be battling to survive. To demand an increase at this point is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what you think about that. And what I want to discuss right now is this. Yesterday we saw, or I showed you a video, or I spoke about a video, you heard the video about a woman being gunned down by the Mozambican police. Gunned down. Innocent woman shot with about 30 bullets pumped into her body. She wasn't a threat. They just pumped 30 bullets into her. Pangas, knives and guns as well. Saw a video, can hear gunshots. I now want to pose the question to you. What sort of a society are we living in? And is this behavior, I want to know, which what I struggle with when I see this type of atrocity, when I see this type of barbarism, is this to do you become that barbaric, that animalistic if you live in a squatter camp? Does poverty, I don't know, I'm asking because we see violent protests, right? I mean, to hit an innocent animal, to free the animal, to kill the animal, to stab the animal, to hit it with sticks and stones. Right? Is it a cultural thing? Is it, I mean, not cultural thing, is it how humans have become? Or is a certain type of human beings behaving in a certain way? I will tell you this much. IKC lens in the house. I will tell you this much. I think India has a population of 1.3 billion people. I think people live in slum conditions. Slumdog Millionaire, the movie, gave us an insight of how people live in absolute squalor. Does it, if you live in that condition, does it take away, as somebody just mentioned, your humanity? Does it take away your humanity? Can you kill a fellow human being? Eh? Or is this an Africa problem? Is this an Africa problem? Do we see this type of barbarism? And I'm telling a fine line here. I'm telling a fine line here. Because yeah, when you say anything in this regard, you're a racist and you're a whatever. I'm struggling to come to terms with this, of this protest. I mean, 150 to 200 protesters. Nobody in their right fucking mind had the fucking common sense to stop this shit from happening. This thing was planned to do this. Right? Look, if you're unhappy with something, by all means protest. It's your legal right. It's a constitutional right to protest. But to go destroy the very business. And I'll tell you this much. Those grooms people or people working in the stables, that racehorse company or the stables has put food on the tables for years, has put their children through school and through college, has helped them buy cars, has helped them to make their lives better. I can almost fucking guarantee you that. White people probably owning it. Yeah? Now Rinesh saying, Rinesh, what you're saying there will be seen to be racist when you say it's an African problem. Eh? What? How do you come to kill animals that the animals are your lifeblood? And Anida says, no matter where you live being humane. Violence involved isn't a protest, as Timothy. I mean, I'm struggling to come to terms with what they did as someone with stage 4 chronic kidney disease at age 72. Dead disease insurance is important. But we're not talking about that now, sir. Protest is peaceful and rational. Well, I don't know. I'm going to keep repeating myself. I mean, listen, buddy, those helpers live like fucking kings, says Theo van Nurwijk. Theo van Nurwijk, I don't know if they live like fucking kings, but probably they get a lot of help or they've had jobs. And this is another thing where about the clique saga comes into play again here. You know, white monopoly capitalists, white people who are ill-treating us, Indian people who are ill-treating us, everybody's fucking ill-treating us. Eh? Don't take their fucking jobs, don't work for those cunts. Why don't we fucking work for those cunts? I'm totally for equality. I'm totally for bringing black people up to economic status. But as I read a saying from Abraham Lincoln, whatever, you don't become rich or empower yourself by stealing from somebody else or bringing that person down. I'm paraphrasing here. Right? But, I mean, that stables and those horses put food on the table, bought them cars, put their children to school, bought them clothes. Right? That community, Fairview, has probably been living off that fucking industry. Right? Providing job. Where the fuck do you come up with this thing? Who fucking, and here's the other thing. Where's our fucking government in this thing? Eh? Whose business is next? My business next? Maharani's is next? Who's fucking next? Eh? You just go out, you fucking burn the building, burn the business, and then we bet it. Yeah, bro. We bent it. And we killed the horse. We killed it. Now we want to increase. We want to increase now. We kill the horse, we break his legs. Okay, now I want to increase. Yeah, okay, but I don't mind giving you an increase. But we got no horse to run. You got no horse to look after. You kill the horse. Now you want to increase for doing a job where there's no job. Because you chased the horses, you broke the legs, you killed the horse. Now you want to increase to do what? So who? No personal lines cover as vehicles. Uh, Casey, my bro, this is all political stealing and looting. That's all disgrace. Yeah, whether it's political or not, I don't mind you saying it's political, Christopher. But to go out and kill a horse, hit the horse, whack it, the same thing that's bringing you money. Jealousy, entitlement, and terrorist mindset, says Naresh Sarab. Chop the hands that feed you. That's it, Angie Policy. That's it. You tackle a business. You know, I'm going to ask this again. Does making you live in a shack, by the way, I can tell you now while I ask the question, making you live in a shack, does it give you that mentality? I'm also going to answer that question. I will say no to that as a general rule because I know people who come from that shack. I know people who worked for me coming from shacks. And I know people who, if I leave 10 rand in my house and deliberately leave it there, when I come back, the 10 rand is still there. And yet they live in abject poverty. Eh? Black people's mentality stems from the days of tribalism stamped in there. Rene Sugubin, you bring up a point, and I think not many people want to talk about it. Maybe it will be deemed racist. But is that something is killing people or animals or whatever steeped in tribalism? Is it? I don't know. Let me put a disclaimer. They're not my words. So if you come after me, whatever. But this is an important topic to have. I'm not being racist. I'm just stating a plain fact. Stay cool, my brother. I like to see what happens to the people. Their business will come. Well, I just spoke about something earlier about does living in poverty make you a cunt and an idiot and an animal and a barbaric? Eh? And I just answered by saying no, because I know people who don't behave that way. Then is it now the fact that maybe there are these other elements coming in and driving these people? But even so, are you that dumb to go and follow? You follow everything. Indians lived in shacks in South Africa too. That's right, Timothy. That mentality is that increase. They will make sure our business is crippled beyond belief. Fighting with animals. Yep. Animals were killed, one horse was killed, and now there's no job. Yep. We got to ask other race groups in South Africa protest violently. We got to ask ourselves how many other race groups. Yep. Well, I need to ask you a question. We got to ask ourselves how many other race groups in South Africa protest violently. And that's a good question, by the way, as well, because last week's saga with the EFF, and if many of you saw the videos, the very militant stance of the EFF fighters, which they denied, the very militant stance where they took on others, where they called white people, go back to Europe, fuck off back to Europe, fuck you, those sort of words. The only reason why it didn't escalate into a mini civil war or a riot was because the offended parties, such as me or whoever was there, did not react or retaliate. And I think that takes a bit of fucking, what can I say? Morality, ethics, fucking common sense, and a little bit of fucking education. Eh? The only reason why those taunting EFF supporters didn't or allowed to get away with it, because you and I, walking past them, were insulted. Yes, we were, but we didn't react. Those who were insulted did not react. That is why they got away with it. And to ask ourselves how many lead the protest, can't lead the protest, barbaric behavior, always third force involved, cause conflicts. Yep, I don't deny there was a third force. Naresh set up. I don't deny there was a third force. Third force could be about 20 or 30 people instigating the others. That happens in this township's mentality. It happens there. We don't know much about it. I know something about it. There's a third force that whoops up the support. We'll go into the township and say, these guys are making 100 million rand and only paying you 10,000 rand. These guys are driving Lamborghinis and Porsches and you are sitting here in the squatter camp. They are making money off you. They are using you. And they say, yes. And they rile them up. But I also have to ask the guy who's being fed by these people, given stuff, looked after, you still go fucking break the thing that feeds you. No, even that too I don't. Naresh, I don't know. I'm battling to understand it. Ramesh says poverty doesn't suddenly the government has provided this platform, strike, destroy. Yep, ignorant and beautiful animals were killed. Yes, now I can put with the burning tires, but today it was taken way too far. Yeah, and look, where Cyril Ramaphosa wanted to do Jerusalem, he wants to do Jerusalem on Heritage Day. Fuck the Jerusalem, fuck Jerusalem, fucking address these things. And that business, that stables, Fairway stables, I don't know about it, but it's probably the lifeblood of that community, of that township, that feeds the township, that drives our economy, right? Angie says they were racist and demeaning others. Yes, that's right. The EFF is racist. As much as you claim to be non-racist, the EFF is I'll say it's a racist party. Racism in reverse. It was 4 horses that were killed. Mervyn says 4 horses. I got 1 horse, but Mervyn says 4 horses. Maybe that's an updated one. Kritika says, as an adult, you should know yourself. No need to kill me. Yeah. Well, how is it that these adults don't know that? How is it that these adults don't know that? How is it that adults back in the day who didn't go to school, had no education, had lived in shacks, right, knew better than to kill a fellow human being or an animal? Right? The ANC has created a culture. It takes balls not to react. That's right, Wally. It takes balls not to react. It takes fucking brains, period. Because maybe we civilized. That was the word I was looking for, Eleanor. Eleanor, I don't mind using that word. I don't mind using that word. Maybe it'll be deemed I'm a racist. The reason people didn't react to the EFF's taunts, and they were taunts, by the way, is because maybe we are civilized. And that's what a civilization does. Civilization does. You don't behave like an animal. That's why you are called civilized. That's why you call it civilization, because you are civilized. You have a problem, you come up with a solution, you deal with it. You don't deal with the barbaric manner. I'm sorry. A country is judged by we treat its animals and the old. That's true. As EFF are just a bunch of shampoo gangsters. The time for good things done. Ranga says, I'm sorry and sad to see what people are doing. The animals. Ranga from Canada, exactly, they get infected by the terrorists. He can take his Jerusalem. Yeah. Sir won't comment on these things. Civilized people are above that, Eleanor. You are spot on. Casey says Trevor Barnett. Civilization died long ago. No, Jenny Harty, civilization didn't die long ago. I will disagree. I know what you're trying to say, but I disagree with you. Civilization didn't die a long time ago because you and I are here. You and I are here, even as we're talking about this. Even as I'm talking about the EFF, I'm trying to be civilized in what I say. Even as I'm crying out, I'm trying to be civilized in what I'm doing. Even as I'm picking on someone or scrutinizing them, I'm trying to be civilized in the manner that I do it. So civilization didn't die. We are here. We are showing civilization didn't die. I can question you. What Randir says, Jayraj, I can guarantee you 70% of those barbaric animals are not stable workers. Yep. I can almost even agree with you there, Randir. But the question then asks, where are these people? Where are the other people? When are they going to stand up? Or is it always a third force that we must accept that these people are involved? I don't know, man. I'm done with that. I'm done with always saying it's not them, it's somebody else. I'm done with that as well. What are they doing about it? Why didn't they protect the fucking stable? So he says, yeah, and he's probably right. Randir says, I can guarantee you 70% of those people want stable hands. You know, that I can almost agree as well. But what I'm not happy about is, where were those fucking stable hands? What were they doing? Why didn't they fucking think? Why can't they do something? Why can't they call the police? Why can't they alert someone? Why do they allow this to happen? Eh? The hand that feeds you. The hand that feeds you. And I'm saying this again to black people of South Africa or whatever. If the white man is feeding you, take his fucking food. Take his food, fill your stomach, educate your minds, emancipate yourself. If he's got something, if he knows how to farm, learn how to farm. If you're the Indian guy working and he's a plumber and he calls you the K word, fuck him, learn from him. Learn to be a plumber. Then when you become a plumber, tell him fuck you. Why can't black South Africa learn? Why do we have to get rid of the white man? Why do we have to get rid of the Indian man? Indian people are good at business. Indian people have good work ethic. Indian people can teach you things. They are entrepreneurs. Right? Learn from us. Learn. Why do you have to kill and destroy? Now I know it's not all black people. I know when I say this, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not generalizing. But the common narrative that even the EFF spread is get rid of the white man. They don't want the white man. White monopoly. Learn from those fuckers. Learn from them. Take what you can from them. That's the only way to emancipate yourself. Freedom from what? Everybody knows. The more knowledgeable you are, the more you can't have a fucking hammer and a nail with no fucking brains. You don't know what to do with the hammer and what to do with the nail. You put the hammer down and you bang it with the fucking nail because you got no fucking brains. Brain work, power, knowledge is power. Educate yourself. I mean, if you look at Indian people throughout the world, our forefathers were the first thing they ever taught you to do was educate yourself. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. My message to black South Africans who want to fight for this and freedom, yes, this land is yours if you want to call it that. You're the majority population. I got no problem with that. If you got people who know things, learn from them. Take what you can from them. Then rise above them. If you can do that. But shooting me down doesn't help anybody. Closing my business doesn't help anybody. What they did to Fairview stables, what the outcome of that? Media is the perfect tool to group these people better up. Sorry man, so many comments I'm not reading because 100% agreement. Just I was rambling on there. I counted losses that served our country as they were intelligent. It will never happen. They're too lazy. Well, there we go. Jenny Hart talked about it's a biblical story. Many educated folks, few knowledgeable ones though. Yeah, I just think that's the way out for this country. That's my version. I mean, our so flippant said what? I mean, our clicks on Ahmed racism being eradicated. That's right. What is all of Julius Malema's issues? Broke the stores, damaged the stores. EFF. As Timothy asked, what has it done for racism? What has it done for racism? 50,000 sanitary pads they got. 50,000 sanitary pads to fight racism. The thing was about racism. What has the action done for racism? This is not the blacks' land. They migrated, yeah. Yeah. Advertise it weekly. What's left? Only thing is Angas, yeah. I'm not going to go to the land issue. The land issue we'll talk about. I said the majority in this country. I didn't say the land. I said the majority in this country. Answer me, Mr. Malema. Has racism been eradicated? Yep. Well, nobody wants to tackle Julius Malema because Julius Malema is above the law and above everybody. And he's created that platform for himself, by the way, because of his... By the way, even I was watching again the Julius Malema, all the guys protesting there. Isn't it amazing? So some people ask us, even as Indians or whites, coloreds, look at those people, how they are protesting. That's why they get results. They are protesting there. They're sleeping outside the shop. They are there day and night. But here's the thing. You and I fucking got jobs. Yeah? Where you got those people from? Who got no jobs, nothing, coming there to protest? How? What they're getting paid? Where are they from? Have you thought about that? Okay, Floyd Shivambu and all are paid. They're paid by the EFF. Their money is sorted. They bring these other guys there to come. They're basically unemployed people. That shows you the number of people that are unemployed that are ready to stand around, cause shit. Yeah. They weren't working class people. If they were working class people, they'd be at work. They won't give a day off to go and protest. Where they got all these protesters from? It shows you that there are people who are unemployed, but they got time to go and protest. Please, Casey, take it out easy and upset. We need you to stir up on it. Yeah. Let me have a sip. Some with the white people, same with white people, knowledge education is priority. It's called rent a crowd. Indeed, Ibrahim Patel, you're right. It is called rent a crowd. It is called rent a crowd. And I've seen it happen in political circles. They go gather these people, put on the uniforms for them, and get them to the sites. Yeah, because you'll find a lot of them standing around, and there are 3 or 4 instigators. They're the main ones 2, 3 of the instigators. The other guys are standing around making up the numbers. So when you see the red shirts, you think they all are to together. They brought them from the townships, put the uniform on them, made them stand there. I met those circus clowns in Parliament. The only way to get rid of racism is to stop grouping people into race groups. Well, if you don't talk about Danny, you're right, but that's far-fetched, Danny Erka. Far-fetched. Gandhi protested Satyagraha. If they want to protest, learn the concept, you're wasting your time. Well, if you have people like Julius who only know to speak that language, you can't teach anyone anything else. That's his only language that he knows. And that's the only way to whoop up support from there. By the way, I'll say this again. If Julius Malema changed his tune, changed his tactic, and attacked government for the benefit of all in South Africa, Julius Malema could be well on his way to become president of this country because he's got the potential in terms of political acumen, which he has, whether you like it or not. And if Julius Malema took on the fight for minorities like you and I basically on this platform, I think he'd even get my support. That's a fact. Casey, come, let's pluck some of these uneducated. Robert Rousseau, I don't think that's far from being wrong, where even I'm considering arming myself, getting ready, that if something happens, I have to be ready for a struggle. That's not far off, brother. Because if you get taunted in your face, like I heard that EFF guy telling someone, fuck off to Europe, I mean, really? It takes a lot of inner strength to keep quiet. Even if you're facing tenors, you know. Yes, you can rent that crowd for funerals as well. They come for t-shirt and a meal. Yep, that's right, Poobalan, you're right there again. Please don't have an aneurysm. We need you. Casey, these idiots follow those parties just for free shirts and caps. Yep. So that's what I was talking about. Where did they get this 200 or these people to protest in the malls? Unemployment is being shown definitely to be a case there. Poverty and hunger needs to manipulation of people. BP must be high now, say Casey. Yep. Unemployed problem, salt, that's what got India independence. Salt, cheapest thing you can buy. So the lesson I'm going to say it again is that, and if other people listen to this platform, listen to my whole thing. Don't listen to certain parts and call me a racist and a cunt or whatever. Education. It's the world over. It's the world lesson that if you are not educated, if you don't have knowledge, you can't have power. If you don't have knowledge, you don't have know-how, you're a cunt. You're a useless. Yeah. Having land, and many people are saying this, but you know, Julius talks to the base level people who not educated, and through no fault of their own, by the way. And they have simple demands: water, sanitation. And Julius wants to promise them that. Take a sip, Mom's passive resistance. If you're talking about arming yourself, then we're talking about my friend Fidel. What a man, what a revolution. They provide transportation. Must give all those idiots 5 SIM cards for all 50 megabytes of data. Danny Burmo says, that's not far off the mark, but he says they give them SIM cards and data. Go back and watch the protest. I watched the protest. You'll find 2 or 3 years. They are the instigators. They are the ones coming from the EFF. The other ones are just fucking like stone yards around him. That's what they are. Trump is doing the same with ignorance and less educated manipulation. When our tourism colleagues asked to open up the economy, they were water bombed. God must help them. I have a 357, says this thing. Well, look, Eleanor Woodman, arming yourself and being prepared like that white lady with a gun. I mean, you don't want to be a victim. I mean, yesterday we spoke about the lady in Merebank being strangled to death. Okay, separate incidences. I can't bottle and bunch them together. How can you educate people that burn everything? Well, unfortunately, that's where we have to start, Kasturi. Otherwise, we'll be in the same situation. Then, I'm telling you, it's coming back to us. So it's coming back to us. If we have the majority of these people in this country who are unemployed, uneducated, and you know the thing, idle minds are the devil's workshop. My dear people, if you and I want our children, and don't even talk about our lives, I'm talking about majority people living here, our lives are over on this planet. When I say over, we're going out soon in a matter of years, 20 years, 30 years, meaning soon. The balance of most of our life is over. It's what we leave for our children and our grandchildren. And if we don't want them to be in this situation talking about this barbarism and racism, we unfortunately have a duty to educate. And I do it, by the way, the same thing, power of one. I do it every day, not every day, wherever I can, to whoever I can, because I want to change one person's mind, one person's mindset, and a black person at that as well. You can recover our, you can reverse our queue. That's big. Sorry, Ish, what join now, Miss Ricky. We as a country have fallen so far. What do you think will happen in the next election? Burning something. So let me tell you so let me tell you an example. I got a video, by the way. There's a guy who works for Maharanis. It's a black guy, a South African black guy. So I'm not going to read your comments. So don't comment too much. I might not read your comments and you might get upset if I don't read your comments. So just hold the comments for now. I was talking to on another platform and I got hammered. I got hammered on another platform, on the People's Dialogue platform. When I said to them, I just mentioned to them to tell black people what I've experienced. I said, in my 15 years of experience, of employing people, I find foreigners to have a better work ethic and willing to work. I said that to educate them that, listen, there's a problem. There's a problem with people and in South Africa with jobs. Or I quantified it in my case. For 15 to 20 years, I was employing black people for menial labor, scab labor, and I would almost always choose a foreigner because of the problem I was having with the locals. I got lambasted. I got hit. I was told to go to those countries, employ those people. I was told I was the problem, all that sort of things, right? I was told that. YouTube's going to go off, by the way, guys. I was told that. And because they couldn't understand where I was coming from, I experienced this in my work situation. And then 2 weeks back, this black guy was working for Maharanis for a couple of